New home sales hit record low, reported Market Watch. The housing market has literally collapsed. We're stuck. It's not going to revive in the spring and may not in the summer, says expert Tony Sanders, real estate finance professor at George Mason University. Shadow inventory of 1.8 million homes could prolong housing slump. These are homes that have not come on the market yet. People are waiting to put them out later in the spring. Oh, it's the rich. The tax foundation in the United States, among all free countries with relatively free economies, the rich pay the highest percentage in taxes than any other free or relatively free country on the face of the earth. So that can't be it. So what is it? What's going on? What's going on is we've had almost 80 years of endless, incessant statism. And it's taking an effect. Endless, incessant statism. And so the things the government is supposed to do don't get done and don't get done well. Securing the border. Protecting the currency. And on and on. Because it's involved in everything. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We live in a soft tyranny. The government deciding what kind of toaster you can have, what kind of washing machine you can have, whether you can have certain light bulbs or not, how much water can flush through your toilet or come through your shower head. The government designing automobiles, designing homes now. Can you list 5 things for me that the government is not directly or indirectly involved in? Just 5. You can't. You can't. And they're all done in the name of something good. Your health, your safety, the environment. But what has made this nation great? Is it massive bureaucracies? High tax rates? Deficit spending? No, that's what makes a nation poor. That's what makes a nation authoritarian. What would we have done without all these bureaucracies and entitlements and programs and taxes? How would our country have ever been founded? How would it have survived so long? How would we as human beings in this country have cared for ourselves, have sustained ourselves, but for all this massive government telling us what kind of paint to use, whether we can put an addition on our home? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is we don't need all this government. It's a disaster. It's destroying wealth. It's driving up the price of food and fuel and essentials that you use to allow you to subsist. It is destroying jobs, and job opportunities. It's destroying entrepreneurship. It's crowding out the individual. You have a government that is literally swallowing up the society. And where does it end? Well, it can't end, and it won't end because it's become unmoored from the Constitution itself. I want you to hear this. I'm going to prove it to you. One of the leading liberal Democrats in the House of Representatives today, on the floor of the House, hat tip Fox Nation. Listen to Jim McDermott, Democrat from Washington. Cut 1, go.
We must send a clear signal that the American people expect that Chinese will respect international agreements and expect fairness. After years of an unlevel playing field, it is time to act, and this motion to defeat it and bring it to the floor is the right kind of measured first step we can take now. I hope the Republicans will join us in helping this economy. I'm tired of reading the Constitution and all the silly things we've done for the last 13 weeks. When are we going to see anything having to do with job creation?
Now, don't be suckered in by this guy. China, job creation. These people are about destroying capitalism. Don't read the Constitution. What the hell does the Constitution have to do with anything? A liberal has to reject the Constitution. They have to reject it because it does not allow them to do what their ideology compels. It's that simple. If you are a statist, you are an anti-constitutionalist. And if you want to call this program, I will prove it to you over and over and over again. Because your typical response, well, you don't like Social Security? And then you'll go through the whole list, the alphabet list of all the magnificent government programs, all of which you've destroyed, all of which you've bankrupted, all of which you've stolen money from to pay for something else. Now, they call us extremists. I just spent the better part of 40 minutes, and I can spend the better part of 40 days explaining to you what these people have done to us, explaining to you what they've done to our children and all future generations. They've taken the diamond out of the rough, the diamond out of the rough of mankind's history, and they've dirtied it up as much as they possibly can. They want to turn it back into coal. We are becoming, in essence, a middle-aged man with a big belly hanging over his belt, losing his hair, having health problems, tired when he gets up, tired when he goes to sleep, always looking for someone to lean on, or middle-aged woman for that matter. You get the point. Not the vibrant, young nation we used to be because they won't allow it. They won't allow it. They are enslaving future generations to massive red tape, massive debt, massive government. So children born today will never know what it was like to live in a free America. They will never know what it was like to live in a constitutional republic. This is not a constitutional republic. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's not that. And so we're extremists. Finally, after 80 years of left-wing monopoly over our society, finally, the people rise up in the form of the Tea Party. The people rise up and they say enough. And we're the extremists. So what do? They target us. They smear us. They disparage us because we don't want to go along anymore. Because we are rational human beings. We see what they're doing to our society. They are destroying it. They are destroying the greatest society on the face of the earth. And what the hell for? Some mirage? These damn fools don't even have a plan. They don't even know where they're taking us. All they know is they want to destroy what is. And who are they? Look at them. Listen to them. A bigger bunch of buffoons have never before collected under the dome of the Capitol building. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Scott Brown. Oh, yes. Scott Brown, the darling. A Republican from Massachusetts. Here's Scott Brown today, the Daily Caller. Scott Brown called Republican efforts to cut government spending irresponsible and urged party leaders to get over their ideology and find an agreement on a final resolution to the government through the fiscal year. He said, rather than reaching a workable bipartisan solution to responsibly address our staggering deficit, we are repeatedly given a false choice between CR proposals that either don't go far enough to reduce federal spending and proposals that send the wrong priorities that would disproportionately affect low-income families and This guy, I cannot believe we supported this guy. irresponsible proposals? The Republicans come up with $61 measly billion out of a $3.6 trillion budget with an estimated $1.65 trillion deficit. And Scott Brown thinks that's extreme and ideologically driven. Our society's facing collapse. Just like all the others out there that do the same damn thing. Follow the left. And this is the best this Republican from Massachusetts can come up with. The old saw about the poor. Let me explain something to you, Mr. Brown. There are more and more poor in this country thanks to the left. There are more and more unemployed in this country thanks to the left. There are more and more people losing their homes thanks to the left. Why the hell don't you grow a pair and stand up like a man and stand up against this soft tyranny instead of playing the same phony New England politician, New England Republican crap where you somehow are smarter and better than everybody else, where you weigh the pros and cons. Our country's going to hell. Its finances are already there, and you stand there, talk about $61 billion being ideologically driven. Where do you want to take us, Mr. Brown, exactly? Where do you want to take us? I'm sick and tired of Republicans like you, who throw in the towel, who surrender my children's future and my grandchildren's future for a nice soundbite and press release to come off like a very reasonable person. Let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. When we're facing over $50 trillion in unfunded liabilities that your children are going to have to pay for, when this government has spent $5 trillion in 3 years that we do not have, who is the ideologue? Who's the extremist? Who's playing games, Mr. Brown? You are.